Welcome back everybody to this 2-game series of the Joint the League season number 5. It is once again VolT Tortugas versus Team ImpreZa, but game number 2 of course. As VolT, they managed to win game number 1 somewhat convincingly, I have to say. Both offlaners were struggling for both sides, but TimberSauce just peak comes a hell of a lot earlier. You just need that level 6 to have the chakram available to you, and from that on, or that point onwards, you can really start the killing process, whereas a Bristleback from level 6 without a farm, not that scary. But this game, hopefully it's going to be a little bit different, maybe a little bit more resistance, and even the first game was reasonable resistance from ImpreZa there. But we're of course HeflaTV, I'm Couchor, and once again I am going to be joined by Danny. What kind of picks do you expect to see in this game?
I want to see aggression. I want to see ImpreZa put the heat on. I want them to tell VolT and Torches, you took the first game off us, we're going to take the second one back, and with a lot of force. Now, last game they drafted a Naga Siren. That's the kind of lineup where you have to draft 4 other heroes to create space for the Naga Siren, or somehow spoon feed her kills, which the latter, it's a lot more difficult to execute. I want them to pick very aggressive heroes. They can pick up the Storm Spirit. I want them to pick up things like Brewmaster. We're going to see him banned out this time. I want to see them to pick up Axe. Axe, one of the snowballiest heroes during the early game in this meta. I'm surprised a lot of Southeast Asian teams don't like to pick him up. I want to see Team ImpreZa make use of an Axe. They're going to go for Troll Warlord. So, I don't want to say it's an OP hero. He's got his niches, he's interesting, he's useful to an extent, but VolT and Torches, they're pulling out the Wisp Tiny right off the bat as their first 2 picks.
They make me sad, just because I've been waiting so long to once again see a combination of Tiny, IO, and a Troll Warlord on the same team. I've only seen it once before, and it wrecked serious face. I mean, the buildings, they lasted like a total of 3 seconds or something once the Battle Trance Tiny got there. Yeah. But of course, not gonna happen, but starting with an IO Tiny, not too sure like how great of an opening it is, because chances are that you could have quite easily picked up the same 2 heroes even as the 3rd and 4th pick.
Yeah, in all honesty, I wouldn't have minded if they picked these up as their 3rd and 4th picks, because nobody in C bans IO and Tiny. Maybe they'll ban the Wisp every now and again, but it's a very rare ban. So, and maybe they're worried that the Wisp would have been banned this game, because Tiny Wisp, it's the kind of draft that people like to pick up if they're behind and they need to win a game, because I see a lot of Tiny Wisps. I don't know why, but these 2 heroes, I just see them winning all the time. I've never seen a Tiny Wisp combo lose. Maybe I've been watching the wrong games, but these 2 heroes together, lots of mobility with the relocate. You're going to have a very mobile Tiny, lots of burst potential as well with the Avalanche Toss combo. And if you think about it, you have a Tiny going up against a Troll Warlord. What does Troll Warlord do? Physical damage. What's Tiny good against? Physical damage. Why is he good? Because he has the craggy exterior, the 25% chance to stun when it's maxed out. I don't even think it's 25% in all honesty, because you see craggy happen way too frequently to justify 25% chance of being procced. So I think it's 50 at best.
Oh well, one thing is for certain, Troll most certainly will want to pick up a BKB this game while being up against the Tiny. Of course, like one way to approach it is get massive amounts of burst. Unfortunately though, Lion now banned out by VolT themselves. Queen of Pain was in the first phase banned by ImpreZa. Definitely could have been a really nice hero, just use the Sonic Wave, Scream of Pain to blow up either the IO or Tiny, or both at the same time even sometimes. But unavailable to them now, that combination. Next set of bans though, Juggernaut removed by ImpreZa, as well as a Broodmother. I mean, Broodmother definitely can create the space, but you still like have an Axe in the pool, for example, but Axe kind of is overlooked in so many games recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I think Broodmother wouldn't have been a bad pick for VolT and Torches if they decided to pick it up last, because they have a lot of split push potential already with the Tiny Wisp, especially during the late game. Buildings get wrecked. That's all I gotta say. Buildings get wrecked. They get taken down so quickly with the Tiny Wisp, and if they just go for a relocate tower takedown, they're out of there in 10 seconds. And by the time you TP in heroes to try and burst them down, if you don't have the burst potential to bring them down, or if you don't already have heroes to try and stall them out while they're taking that tower, they're going to be out of there, and you've wasted TPs to try and reinforce that tower, and that means that potentially another lane will be pushed out by the rest of the team. So I like that they've banned out the Brood, because if they had two sets of, if they had the Tiny Wisp pushing one lane and a Brood Mother pushing another lane, I don't think ImpreZa actually has the tools to deal with it, because they're running a Troll, they have an Earthshaker. I don't know what their last heroes would be, but I think once they've drafted it, if VolT and Torture saw it was a Brood game, I don't think ImpreZa would have been able to defend it. So Brood is a good ban here. It just means that so many other heroes are available. I gotta be sad. We're not going to see a Proper Shaker this game. We have ImpreZa that's going to play it. I'm interested to see what Proper's going to play this game.
Might be handling the Tiny, for example, with the IO supporting him if they want to run the dual mid lane, or well, might be handling a Tiny anyway. Maybe just likes hitting really hard, and Tiny maybe not quite as hard as the Earthshaker with the Enchant Totem, or at least not that hard that early on. But definitely a heavy hitter. Maybe that's like his playstyle. Of course, might even see like a early blink on the Tiny, for example, just blink avalanche shots people to death.
That could be a possibility, actually. Some teams like to go for the fast blink on the Tiny, more or less depending on his farm. We'll see how how quickly the Tiny can actually get farm, because we don't know what ImpreZa wants to put in that mid lane. If it's going to be the Tiny Wisp from VolT and Torches, I feel that ImpreZa, they might have to dual lane their mid lane just to stay toe-to-toe with the Tiny Wisp mid lane. Or they're going to have to try and draft a very strong mid lane that'll do well against those two heroes. But what kind of heroes actually do well against Tiny Wisp? I think TA does okay, but there's not many mid heroes that can dominate a Tiny Wisp mid.
Yeah, dominating, definitely not so, at least when you're solo. Although, I think like the most successful kind of counter I've seen is the Tidehunter, but Volunteer Tours, maybe that was also like one thing why they banned out the Tidehunter in the first phase, just knowing the Tidehunter is really good in the mid lane. You have a really good health pool. Just Anchor Smash means that, well, you aren't all that afraid of physical damage. And you most likely will be able to survive that avalanche toss combination anyway, up until they get like 3 points into both, something like that. But other than that, I've seen Queen of Pain do really well there, but of course also banned out. Maybe a Puck, but early on phase shift might not even be long enough duration to just avoid the entirety of an avalanche.
Yeah, I think he'll miss out on one wave, but I think he gets hit by the remaining waves. Because it's only, what, 0.25 phase duration?
0.75, I think.
0.75.
Even
So
then,
not.
it's pretty short still.
Yeah, I think Avalanche goes. I don't know how long Avalanche goes for. I don't even play Tiny. I'm not even going to say anything. Wow, ImpreZa are going to pick up their own Storm Spirit. They definitely have to dual lane that mid lane if they're going to put a Storm Spirit against a Tiny Wisp. I don't see a Storm Spirit winning against that matchup. That's way too hard for a Storm.
Oh, well, the Storm Spirit probably won't. I at least hope he won't end up in that lane. Or maybe it's gonna be with the Earthshaker just babysitting the Storm Spirit like non-stop. Then it can even work out, to be honest. But
Actually, what about a Troll Warlord mid? Because he has the Whirling Axes and that has the blind chance, the miss
oh,
chance.
actually, now that I think about it, or now that you bring
Yeah.
it up, I think I've even seen Troll go up against that kind of a dual lane and do fairly fine for himself. I think from what I've seen, the Troll has even been able to kill off the IO a couple of times, for example. So it's not that bad if they do run that lane. If you're a Volunteer Tourist though, they may not even go for IO Tiny combination in the mid lane. They may just want to go for a safe lane, tri lane, just pull through. Because if they have the IO pulling, that's just more guaranteed farm kind of, and the Crystal Maiden can farm up like the rest of the jungle, or try at least.
Yeah.
Of course,
I've just
if
tunnel visioned
then
myself.
at the moment they should pick up something like a Puck for the mid lane possibly. Just get some team fight control, get something to lock down the Storm Spirit, because Avalanche, yes, it's all well and good against the Storm Spirit, but it's not all that reliable. Neither is the Frostbite really. You can just kind of ball lightning away anyway. So may not be all that easy for just VolT to kill the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, they don't have too much lockdown because the frostbite, yeah, it's gonna bite you for a little bit, but then after that you can just zip out of it. You can still cast spells even if you're frostbitten, so Storm Spirit not gonna be too worried about a lot of the heroes on VolT and Torch's lineup, depending on what their last hero is gonna be. I presume it's going to be someone in that safe lane or in the mid lane, depending on how they want to do the lanes. But yeah, they could actually do that with the safe lane, have the IO pull, go for the Tiny to farm, and have the Crystal Maiden farming the jungle. But I feel that VolT and Torches has to play aggressively this game because they're running a Clockwork and a Crystal Maiden. Now, these two heroes, they do terribly the later the later the game goes, unless they can somehow get items themselves. But this is probably going to be a position 5 Crystal Maiden. She's not going to have much items to work with, so I expect her to be a first casualty for the majority of these engagements. So VolT and Torches, they're going to have to actually put the foot on the they're going to have to put a little bit of steam into this and try to dominate ImpreZa during the laning stage into the mid game. Because as the game goes later, if you look at ImpreZa's lineup, they do okay in the late game. They have a Bristleback who does well with items. They have a Troll Warlord who's going to buff up their attack speed. You have a Storm Spirit who's going to zip around all over the map. And, well, this last Razor pick here from VolT and Torches, that's not going to control a Storm Spirit, is it?
It is nice against the Bristleback though, because usually Bristleback really relies on the nasal goo to really slow people down and chase them. If you're gonna apply the goo onto Razor though, suddenly unstable current procs and you're gonna be slowed down yourself a hell of a lot more than Razor will be from the goo. So it's decent against the Bristleback. Against Storm Spirit, not as much, because Electric Vortex is gonna, or the duration will outlast that of the Purge coming in from the unstable current, of course. But ImpreZa now going for a Zeus support. It was something that VolT ran in the first game. Now it's ImpreZa's turn to just go for a little bit of magical burst. It's definitely nice because burst down the IO, suddenly it's a hell of a lot easier to just manage the Tiny as well.
Yeah. We'll see how it executes. It is going to be nice, especially if the IO tries to go for a gank with the Tiny. If there are heroes nearby from the target location that they are going to try and go for the relocate, they can try and kill them. They can burst them down. They do have a lot of burst potential with some of these heroes that they have. So I'm not going to say Team ImpreZa is going to have a rough game. It's just going to be completely dependent on how they run the lanes. Because last game, they did okay for a while, and then it just felt like shit hit the fan after a point. They were coming back, they were getting items, and it just didn't work out so well after that point. So we'll see. We'll see. I want ImpreZa to actually win this game, so it's just 1-1, because obviously if you lose 2-0 to any team, you don't feel too good. And when you don't feel too good, you don't play too well. So we'll see how it goes. Go Team ImpreZa.
Well, of course it depends on how long the feeling lasts for, because if you lose 2-0 and you don't feel too well, there's not going to be any more games on the same day, but of course you definitely want to end up like as well as you can, because so far I do believe ImpreZa, they've only played 4 sets for this group stage, so they're 4-4, so not that bad of a score at all, to be honest. Whereas VolT and Torches, they are 6-10, so this is their last set to be played here. They guaranteed will not be able to get into the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, and in fact most likely will drop down to the Division 2 and 3 playoffs, no matter like the outcome of this game. For ImpreZa though, they still have a pretty long way to go, so they could even get up to the top 2 spots, quite possibly. As bottom lane, a Fisher doesn't quite get the block onto the Clockwork, so no early first blast this time.
Yeah, no early first bloods. It's a little bit sad, but we are still going to get those runes picked up on those core heroes. And look who we have here. We have our Wisp, who is going to take the first rune and finish up that bottle in about 25 gold after that. Oh, never mind. I got my gold. I don't know how I miscalculated how much bottles were. I thought they were,
it's probably just the bounty runes, the first ones give double the gold and double the XP. So maybe that's why you thought it's going to be 25?
I legitimately thought bottles were 750. I'm very sorry. I need to retire as a caster. I didn't even know how much bottles cost. I think it's just because Ice Frog keeps changing how much they cost. It's very annoying.
Yeah, they've increased it twice now. It used to be 600, now it's all the way up to 700, I think. So it's definitely worthy kind of a nerf to the bottle, to be honest, because bottle was way too accessible, or well, it still is kind of, but top lane now. KYT will get frostbitten up, so it takes a little bit of harassment, but it's not like the Razor can help out all that much afterwards. Artilist, of course, gonna try to double stack things up. I really like how I do this in the Dire jungle. Just first of all clear the trees and then pull 2 camps at the same time.
Yeah, and it's going to accelerate the Tiny's farm so much when he actually starts getting levels into the Avalanche toss combo. Because that's how he farms it up. Because how else is a Tiny going to farm up the jungle? Actually, Avalanche going to connect onto our Troll Warlord. Have we introduced the teams? Looks like we haven't. There was a missed tether there by the IO, I think. He tethered to a creep and not to Bropa.
So yes, we can introduce lineup. So the guy who missed tethered right here, Artlist on the IO. Spotlight on him here. Propa is going to be handling the Tiny. Link Park Shin here on the Crystal Maiden. MEzMeriZa on the Razor. And the last one is KZL on the Clockwork.
Playing on the side of ImpreZa on our Storm Spirit in the safe lane is going to be Y. He's doing pretty well, up to 7 CS, so well on his way to whatever item he wants to pick up. Seth is going to be playing on our Zeus this time. He did play the Vengeful Spirit. We have, oh god, you gave me the hard one now. ZC times 3, ZC cubed on our Earthshaker. In the mid lane, we have Shadower on our Troll Warlord. And lastly, on the top lane, we have KYT on the Bristleback. Hopefully he has a better laning stage compared to last game.
Avalanche Toss was used by Troll Warlord. Getting those whirling axes before getting stunned means that there's really no follow-up damage at all. No balls, no spirits from the Wisp so far either. So Troll Warlord looks to be a pretty decent like counter to the lane. Even has 8 last hits to his own name, only 3 behind Propa, and if you're in a 1v2 lane for the most part, that's not too bad of a score to hold. And is that a bottle coming out? Yes it is. So can even spam like ranged whirling axes a little bit more to make sure that the distance is kept between himself and the enemies. So far, looking decent. I mean, KYT also level 3, almost level 4. Does get frostbitten up now. Lots of damage stolen as well. This might be the first blood. One more punch from MEzMeriZa. Does grab it. Of course, takes a lot of damage in the process, but definitely worth grabbing the first blood.
Oh, he's got 6 tangos. He's going to be pretty much okay in terms of regeneration. But KYT, again, giving first blood. I feel like he's on tilt. I really feel like he's on tilt. I feel very sorry for KYT. But hopefully the game does look better. Hopefully it does look better in the future
for him. Even though he died, it's already like 2 times better than last time around because he has 4 last hits. He's almost level 4 by 3.5 minutes in. So it is at least 2 times as good as it was last game, and it's really thanks to Crystal Maiden being on the lane. Crystal Maiden herself isn't getting all that much, and all the levels that she is getting is purely just leeching it from the
She might die
Razor.
though. Does KYT want to jump onto her? No.
I don't know, might die here. Whirling Axis range once, they get the kill. Earthshaker it was there to help out. A toss now, and they get another kill onto the Troll Warlord. Propa still wants to keep on going though, or well, he wants to get a counter kill. Clockwork loses his life in their own offlane. But Setsi, there is an avalanche or a toss. He can maybe toss him back towards the creep. Oh no, uses the toss. Doesn't get the Earthshaker himself, and I think Earthshaker will be fine. No, not until the eye comes in. Another missed tether. Never mind, doesn't matter. It's fine. Gets the kill himself, but man, missing 2 tethers in 4 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like it's on purpose at this point. Shadow is going to go right onto the Wisp, and again, he just came back into lane, and all of a sudden he just gets whacked down to bits by the Troll Warlord. How dare you kill my Earthshaker? So Wisp, back in the fountain. I think the Wisp is okay spectating the game at this stage, just like, okay, fine. I'll just watch my teammates. I don't have to do anything. But yeah, down bottom, I wasn't actually expecting the Storm Spirit to die to the Clockwork, but I presume he just got stuck in the power cogs and just got battery assaulted to death. Because Storm Spirit, he's not level 6 yet, so no way for him to really zip in and out of those cogs as of yet. So he is still a pretty juicy target for the Clockwork if the Clock wants to try and jump onto him.
Clock just now even picks up his boots, didn't even have boots beforehand. So definitely like him being able to even close the distance to the Storm Spirit feels like Storm Spirit himself. He really needed to go close to the Clockwork because otherwise how the hell is a bootless Clockwork gonna catch you like that? So maybe they got a little bit overeager themselves. I mean, they got the kill on the Clockwork, so maybe they thought that they can get the kill and just escape. Although KZL, Zeus of course also an easy target, but that also requires for you to get those cogs around them.
Yeah. So Crystal Maiden is actually rotated into the mid lane here with the Wisp. Now this does free up the lane here for KYT, so he is getting levels in as well as a couple of CS in here as well. So he's going to be happy with this. Trying to get the creeps in his favor. Not too sure what the Bristleback wants to go for this game. Do you think he's going to go for a mech like the Bristleback in the last game, or would you expect him to go for something a little bit different?
I think mech is still gonna be fine. I don't think anybody else is really gonna build a mech on them. Mid lane, Avalanche, Toss comes out as well, but once again, Toss just on a creep, and Battle Trance tries to turn things around with the help of the Fisher. Enchant Totem, the tower, I think it's not gonna be enough with Artilist, just providing the overcharge for a little while, although Propa did drop extremely low anyway. But once again, just a little bit of an unlucky toss. Maybe Tiny should try to position himself a little bit better to guarantee the toss on the actual hero.
Yeah, that was very clear. Oh, the Fisher, they're going to be thrown out onto Propa. He's going to drop down a little bit, but there's still the Wisp there with the bottle, so it is going to heal Propa up to a significant amount of HP, so he's pretty much okay to go. Now, he is level 6, although in the top lane, looks like KYT just going to go for the TP out. No way for them to cancel that out now because Park Shin-hai, he used the Frostbite to keep him in place. So, unfortunately for them, no kill on the Bristleback, but fortunately for them, it sent him back to base, and for him to go all the way back to base, it means that Mesmer, he's going to have the lane free for maybe a minute. So, free uncontested CS, I would take that any day.
So we had Clockwork. Oh, Fisher does miss a little bit on the Tiny. Hookshot into a creep as well. Kind of to be expected, but Clockwork, he was sitting around there for some time. He even popped random power cogs before, so we had to wait for them to come off cooldown. Maybe that like slowed down the momentum of their attempted gank a little bit too much. But if you look at the last hits at the moment, Storm Spirit, he is #1, but after that, well, never mind, it's kind of even on all lanes, I suppose. Although mid lane, Tiny, he is losing in last hits to the Troll.
Yeah, that's, in all honesty, that's surprising, but actually, never mind. Troll has gotten 2 kills himself. He has died once though, but Tiny has gotten a kill and an assist. So it's roughly even. When you run a Tiny Wisp, I think it's okay if you're even because they can fall back into the jungle. They're clearing them out now with the Tiny, who is trying to use the Toss Avalanche combo to finish them off. But it looks like he's going to have to try and use those a couple more times to really finish it off. So Wisp going to try and secure that top bounty rune, although there is a Troll Warlord. Looks like he's going to try and jump onto Artless here. He will get him though. Tossed in the air is going to be the Troll Warlord, and he picks up the bounty rune as well. And he's going to chase after Propa. Can he get him though? There's a Battle Trance. Can he chase him down? Will he get a Lucky Bash? There is a Crystal Maiden coming into the jungle, but is this the right decision? Park Shin-hai, run away! You are a slow Crystal Maiden. Never mind. Propa going to throw the Avalanche. Can Shadow get the kill here? He's really fast. Going to find somebody. Throws the axe. Not going to really connect onto anybody, and I think he's overextended. Can he get the kill though? Toss in the air. Gonna try and fight up against the Tiny. Trying to heal him up with the Wisp. One more right click. Can he finish him up? He will! But he dies in the end. But Troll Warlord could be happy with that pickup.
They get a hookshot though onto Setsi Earthshaker. Gonna go down for sure. No cogs even necessary for KZL there. But man, this Troll Warlord in the end went a little bit too deep, but got the kill on the Tiny. Of course, killed the Artilist a little bit before that already as well. So I'd say just it's an extreme moral victory for the Troll Warlord, because I would be feeling extremely well about myself if I just got kills up against an IO Tiny dual lane so many times in the game already. Of course, we cannot really give him all the credit because Earthshaker has also been there with some pretty nice Fishers, both defensively and aggressively, of course. But man, Volan can't be feeling good. Razor though, he's the one to build mech for Volan, and now they're gonna get the Earthshaker Avalanche, toss as well. It is enough to get the kill, but Propa, he's completely blocked in the trees now, and with the help of the Battle Trance, will lose his life. Now they're gonna get the jump on Artilist as well. Why finally joins the fight, or nope, never mind. Escapes for now. One more attack is what they need. This time around, tethering to the creep, correct decision to make.
So finally, tethering to creep, finally saved his life, but I feel like the Earthshaker kind of baited the Tiny there. Like, Tiny went into the trees, and in that kind of position, do you really expect yourself to get out of there? He doesn't even have a Quelling Blade. You never buy it on a Tiny anyway, so there was no way for him to actually cut through the trees for being too greedy. Clockwork, though, getting a solo kill onto the Zeus in the river. Nice pick up there for KZL. He is up to 800 gold. He's got brown boots, although in the mid lane. Are we going to have a fight? There was a bit of a steal onto Troll Warlord. He's back up to full damage, but he's got empty bottle charges, so no way for him to regen. Gonna go into the jungle, finish up some creeps, and then go back.
He just throws out one set of whirling axes, and oh, I thought he's gonna back off without lifesteal being there for him, but with the Battle Trance, gonna try to man mode a triple stack. Don't really see that happening all that well, or not ending all that well for him at least, but he's gonna keep on going. I would just run home, fold up, and then come back to finish it, probably, but
I think he's trying to finish up the rest of his mana, actually relocate in the top lane. They're going to jump onto KYT, our very, very sad Bristleback tossed in the air is the Wisp, and Tiny will secure the last hit. And now we have a solo Storm Spirit up here. There's no one else that's TP'd up. We're going to try and jump onto Artless here. Can he get the kill? Why he will. He has extra mana for the zip out, and he will get out safely. There was a quick stack there by our Earthshaker. So nice stack for ImpreZa if they want to pick that up with their Troll Warlord, who is now heading home. Meanwhile, in the enemy jungle, we have Seth, our very ballsy Zeus, trying to... I think he's just scouting for them. They see the stacks. I don't know if they want to steal it, though. It would be very cheeky if they do.
Well, they definitely want to. Whether they're going to be able to... Oh, now Storm Spirit in a hell of a lot of trouble. Soul Ring. Oh, God. 70 HP hookshot. A little bit off target. Oh, nice try by the Clockwork, but needs at least another rocket player. But it's a cooldown for another 7 seconds. Tries to power cogs to get the push that way. This Storm Spirit should have been dead, but in the meantime, they do lose the Razor there. Or I guess that was a little bit earlier maybe, not even sure, but Razor is just a little bit of a weird hero. He has the most farm on VolT, but does a little bit... Oh, they get the Avalanche, tosses wall, they need more Frostbitten up. They even use the Freezing Field. So this time around, with 3 heroes being there and none from ImpreZa to help out the troll, they finally secure a proper kill.
It's a pretty big kill as well. It is the Troll Warlord, the main... Well, I don't really want to call him the main farmer, but he is doing the best on the side of ImpreZa. He has had an incredible laning stage. He's gotten so many kills. He's pretty much disrupted VolT and Torches by pretty much forcing them into their own jungle just to kill him off. And he gets an important kill with that. So, oh, we have an invisible Clockwork in the middle lane. KZL, who does he want to... Looks like he wants to go on to poor Seth again. Will he try and go for the hook shot though? Coming off cooldown, 1 second. Is he going to go for it though? He's going to have to dive. Never mind. There is a sentry ward here though, so if anyone comes into vision, they do see him. So everyone's going to know that there is a invisible Clockwork on the map, and they're just going to run back to their towers. They don't want to get caught out. There's no need for them to. They know he's invisible, so they're just going to hide. He will break his invisibility though. It has come off it has come off for the duration. Hiding in the trees. Everyone on ImpreZa sitting in the tree line. They're trying to deny as much vision to the Clockwork. Looks like they're going to try and use the Bristleback as the bait. Hookshot onto a creep though, but it did still stun the Bristleback. There's going to be the ultimate there from the Zeus. Mechanism keeping everyone alive. Bristleback is still alive. Never mind. He does die, but Troll Warlord getting a double kill already on the Clockwork and the Razor. Crystal Maiden dying in the backplanes too. I have no idea who.
It was the Storm Spirit, I think, jumped him at
Oh,
the start.
Storm Spirit. Okay, yeah.
So this game, Storm Spirit has the first Oblivion staff, has a Robe of the Magi, and about 700 gold after that. So unless things go extremely bad all of a sudden for them, it's gonna be like 16-17 minute Orchid, I would think. Or, well, even if it's a little bit later, it's still probably going to be a hell of a lot better than in game number 1 ImpreZa had.
Yeah.
It was ImpreZa having the Storm Spirit game on. Yeah, it was the the Bristleback and the Storm Spirit were the heroes that were there before as well.
Yes. Actually, in the top lane, looks like K1T wants to jump onto Crystal Maiden, but he will have his damage stolen. Frostbitten in place. He's having a lot stolen, actually stuck in the trees. He will be avalanched and he will die now in the backlands. Troll Warlord hastened up, going to go right onto our poor Crystal Maiden. Frostbitten up, they're taking a lot of damage from our very, very, very painful Razor tossed in the air. And looks like the Troll will be punished there. So unfortunately for Shadower, no kills for him. And he gives away his life as well. So a couple of 3-2-2 throws there by ImpreZa. I think they need to play a little bit more safely. They've accumulated a nice little lead for themselves, but they're giving it away. And they're giving it away to a tiny Wisp.
It's just haste runes and invis runes and just things that sometimes make you feel invincible. Haste rune maybe a little bit more so even. I've seen just so many like haste fails in general. Of course, I think like the biggest haste fail I've ever seen almost is, I think it was maybe a Storm Spirit jumping onto a Razor with a haste. Of course, within the jump, he went with the Ball Lightning anyway to get more of a surprise factor. He got himself really low on mana, then used Electric Vortex on the Razor, which of course got the purge from the Unstable Current, which purged off the haste, and Storm Spirit died after. It's like, that's like one of the worst ways to probably do it, like purge your own haste, but haste gives you really a false sense of security so often.
It does. I can't tell you how many times I've lost games because my carries think they're invincible. They jump right onto the Wisp again, so that's going to be another kill on the Wisp. Zip straight out, and why he looks like he's fine. So nice pick up there. They might lose the tower. Can they get the deny though? Looks like they won't. Razor's gonna finish it off. Now why he actually has no mana. He can zip out a little bit. Gonna pop the soul ring. He is gonna take quite a bit of damage here from the Razor. Can Razor chasing down those, overextending a little bit, but there's no one here to defend him. Earthshaker coming in from the tree line. Oh, poor Seth kept in place. Vision not even gonna be there to save him. Unfortunately, he was bound to die. So Zeus for Wisp. I would honestly say the Wisp was a nice kill because he is the tiny partner.
Oh, Clockwork though might lose his life. Never mind. Did have to use the hookshot though to kind of slow down the troll even for a couple of seconds if nothing else. So hookshot on Kuno for a little while. But definitely the best way is to just kill the IO straight out, and there's nothing to really defend the IO either with Propa. He wants to go for something. There's the toss. They get the slow from the tether, I believe. But nice Fisher once again by Triple ZC. So Earthshaker, of course, looking at this farm, he is nowhere near a Blink Dagger. Is the Zeus the farming one then? Does have a bottle, but neither of the supports really have that much going for them.
I feel like they're sharing support items, but the Zeus does have more in terms of items compared to the Earthshaker. So it's, at this point it's hard to say, but Zeus does have more CS, I guess, so maybe that's a sign to say.
Network-wise though, Earthshaker is a little bit ahead of the Zeus even.
Yeah, what's he actually got that's... I guess it's just the Soul Ring, because he can never afford Arcane Boots down bottom. Storm Spirit getting a nice pick up there on the Clockwork, and that was also with the assist from the Zeus, so nice pick up there from ImpreZa, just to pretty much lock them down. Up top though, Shadower. He sees Propa by himself though, gonna be tossed in the air, but he does lose almost all of his HP, gonna throw the slow down, so there's no chance for the Tiny to actually catch up to him unless they try and go for a relocate, but there's pretty much no point to relocate for a Troll Warlord.
So Orchid after the kill on bottom lane on Clockwork is finished, but Bristleback, he got off to a better start than in game number 1, but hasn't been that good.
Relocate?
Oh no, they're gonna steal the Ancients. One gets killed, but they want to kill Seth first, so Zeus will be the first casualty of war. Did they even see the Ancients, or was it really just a relocate to get the Zeus kill? I don't think they even saw the Bristleback doing the Ancients. It was just a somewhat lucky relocate position that made Bristleback back off.
Yeah, it felt like it. If they actually saw the Bristleback up, they probably would have tried to go for him, but I don't think they had enough vision to go for the toss. So instead they saw Seth and they're like, oh, you look even better, so just go for the toss onto him. Because it's a Zeus. Zeus has no sort of mobility whatsoever. We're pretty much not going to be seeing a Blink Dagger, a 4-star, Yule Scepter, anything from him anytime soon. Oh, Storm Spirit dropping very low. Oh, mega kill streak as well.
Blade Mail value right there. Storm Spirit jumped in, got the Orchid off, but Blade Mail did so much counter damage there. Oh god. Of course, as a Storm Spirit, you want to go for the kill. And now, well, KZL, with the help of a Tether mech combination, back to full HP. So this is going to be a tier 1 down. I highly doubt that ImpreZa are going to try to defend it without the Storm Spirit.
I think they're going to try and go for their own mid-tier one. Actually, Frostbin up. There's even going to be the ultimate there from the Crystal Maiden. They are going to get an easy pick up there on the Troll Warlord. He was trying to go for a tower, but his mission was not successful. And in the end, VolT and Torches, they get a free bottom tower because no one on ImpreZa is going to go for the TP. They're all just hanging around in their own jungle. We've got one in the top lane, which is KYT on the Bristleback. He's trying to finish up the mechanism. It is coming up very soon. He's sitting on about 650 gold. So we will see the mechanism at about the 20-minute mark, but I don't know if that's really going to impact the fight. Even if it provides minimal impact, I don't know, just Bristleback this game. It's not a bad hero, but maybe just not the best game for a Bristleback.
It's probably not the best game, but it shouldn't be like that bad either, at least not with how things started. He hasn't been able to get enough gold or get enough items to be able to sustain yourself in the fight. It's hard to say. I'm used to seeing Bristlebacks do a little bit better even if they do struggle on lane. But now he's getting closer to the mech, or rather has the mech finished now. So maybe this will mean that things are going to get better from this point onwards. Of course, Bristleback usually not the best hero to kind of synergize with the battle trance either with the Troll Warlord. But if he manages to survive now for some time, he's probably going to be able to recover quite nicely. But the last few fights, well, top lane, they get the jump and, well, Crystal Maiden. Going to be an easy kill, or is it relocate comes in? He's going to stay alive. point booster value right there. 1.8 kill count after that, and why completely out of mana. Hookshot, I hear one, and it does catch the Troll Warlord. Will get the kill in return, so that's nice, but if you're the Clockwork, or if I was the Clockwork at least, I'd be extremely just happy to trade my life for the Trolls.
Yeah, this game's spiraling out of control for ImpreZa. They had such a good start. The Troll Warlord completely dominated the mid lane. The Storm Spirit, he has a pretty early Orchid. Bristleback, unfortunately, not in a privileged position compared to these two heroes, but I think Storm Spirit now, he has the Orchid. He can't really go for solo kills because there's always the potential threat of that relocate from the Tiny Wisp, because they're always together. You'll never see them separate. And if it's not a Tiny Wisp, it's probably going to be ImpreZa, who is just as bad. And at this point, it just feels like the Storm Spirit himself, he just doesn't provide enough burst damage. I don't even know what item for him to go for next. I guess BKB is going to be that next pickup because there's a lot of disable on the side of VolT and Torches it's not lethal, but it's very annoying to deal with. So BKB would be a nice pickup, but I think he needs more mana, he needs more damage. BKB is not going to give him any of that, but it will give him survivability, which feels like he so desperately needs.
And, well, their item progression just keeps on going. Aghanims will also be finished on Razor now. So Razor, it's of course sometimes hard to kind of evaluate his impact in a team fight, but first of all, mech is always going to be nice, especially if you have the IO on your team. Then the damage deal can be extremely crucial, especially if you get it on a Troll Warlord. I mean, Troll, what's he going to do, especially should he get cogged in, for example? Sometimes, of course, the Clockwork will die just because the steal duration of the static link isn't fast enough, so Troll Warlord in the first few seconds can still kill off a clock, let's say. But it's still a lot of extra damage to the Razor. Plasma Field, a fairly damaging ability as well. And with the Aghanims now, also lots of pushing power. And it's not like the team needs extra pushing power having the Tiny already.
Yeah, we have a Blink Dagger actually on our Crystal Maiden. She's also got a point booster as well. So this Crystal Maiden's literally rolling in money. She's doing pretty well herself, considering the fact that she has been a target by the Troll Warlord countless times, but has only died once. She's had 8 assists.
I was so certain that it's going to be a Crystal Feeden, but not the case at all. And well, does get the Frostbite Freezing Field again, Troll Warlord. This time around it's not the Tiny to TP in, but the Razor instead. They even relocated, and Avalanche does KYT, a really bad target to go for. Storm Spirit gets the silence on Twayo. He will get the kill, I think. Nope, the mech is there. Soulburn will secure the kill with a little bit more, but now Frostbite onto Storm Spirit. I hear an Echo Slam in the back lines. Propa still alive, has the Aegis of course, so well, he dies. But Aegis will worth it. They get the Frostbite onto KYT. A hookshot lands onto the Zeus. Plasma Field through 4 heroes down, make it 5. Oh, and well, they lose an Aegis and the IO, but they're going to get a tier 3 maybe even out of this.
They should. They have an Aghanims on the Tiny and a Hyperstone, so he's hitting very hard and very quickly. And look how quickly it's going down. This is just with the Tiny and the Razor, include the creeps, and all of a sudden you're taking that tower down a lot quicker. So there goes the tower. We only have buyback on 2 heroes on ImpreZa, and it is just the Earthshaker and the Zeus, but they are going to be coming off of that death timer very soon. I don't even think they can really do anything to these heroes, even if they're all back. Can they kill Propa? Can they kill Mesmera? They have so much support behind them that ImpreZa just can't kill them off. And a lot of the times, the Storm Spirit, he has to focus down the supports, because what can he do to a Razor? What does he do to a Tiny? What does he even do to a Clockwork? Because half the time Clockwork's been killing him off with the Blade Mail. Because our poor Storm Spirit is sitting on 1.1k HP. He's so squishy. If he gets caught by one Avalanche toss combo, he's dead. And the Frostbite there is just so annoying as well. So it looks like he's going to go for a Bloodstone. He's picked up the recipe. So I think he picked it up before he died, just to make the most of the efficiency of his gold before he died. But Bloodstone on a Storm Spirit who's dying, he's not dying constantly, he's only sitting on 4 deaths, but he's not doing as well as you would like a Storm Spirit to do. He's not snowballing under any circumstance, so I just don't feel that a Bloodstone would give you the necessary, I don't know what to say. I don't think it's going to give you enough to justify the item pickup. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Well, so would you like to, let's say, see a BKB rather than that, or maybe like a straight out Hex instead?
A Hex would be nice, but I don't even think you can accumulate enough farm to get the Mystic stuff, in all honesty. They're under so much pressure. VolT and Torches, they're pushing down these lanes. Middle lane is going to be the next target, so I don't even think the Storm Spirit can really farm. He doesn't have the space to farm. Maybe if he had a Midas, which he picked up at the 5-minute mark,
Oh,
then
what?
maybe...
Solo relocate?
Oh.
Ayo, please! What was
Oh.
that? What was that? I heard
Maybe-
relocate. I thought for a second maybe they're gonna try to go in the Storm Spirit who was solo bottom lane at the time. But... well, he's not even carrying wards. All he has are sentries. So it wasn't even like a warding mission relocate. No clue what that was all about.
I have no idea. Maybe he missed the tether on the Tiny again?
Space
Maybe-
created? I don't know. Must have been a mistether. It was weird, but... well, it's
Maybe
creating
Proto
space for
broke
the
the
Crystal
tether.
Maiden to farm. Crystal Maiden getting close to the axe.
Oh, Crystal Maiden, of course. But, that was 800 gold. Just from the Wisp. That's a Wisp. 800 gold. That's a ball of money. If you just kill him by himself. So that bit of a suicide mission... it was nice for ImpreZa, not so nice for VolT and Torches, but at this point it's minimal. So it's not too bad. Actually zipping forward, they're going to go right onto what seems to be our poor Wisp again. Actually has a Ghost Step, they're going to live for a little bit longer, but he does drop down. Now there is reinforcements, blink forward by Crystal Maiden. Can ImpreZa, sorry, can our, oh actually caught by the cogs as well as the hook shot. Can zip out a little bit longer, but can he survive? Tossed into the air is our Crystal Maiden. She's going to sit on our Storm Spirit, and he's pretty much flat as a pancake. They do get the Earth Shaker. They're going to go up to KYT as well. Going to blink forward there. Can they finish him off? Again, sit. You have been babysat by Crystal Maiden.
This Crystal Maiden,
horrible.
I would like to see more Crystal Maidens played after this, or that kind of a performance, to be honest. Really, a joy to watch. Has only died once as well, and definitely not an easy lineup to survive against. I suppose Clockwork has also done a pretty great job of just kind of zoning people out. Tiny the same way. Even the Razor, but they have an AC finish now. Tiny attacking pretty fast. They have the minus armor going. There is no Eye of the Storm though for Mesmerizer for another 20 seconds or so. But they don't really need it. Storm has buyback, but they absolutely need full 5 to counter just what Volunteer Tourists are doing at the moment.
Yeah. Oh god, these Raxes, they're going down so quickly. The Fissure, they're being a little annoying. Just gonna have to make Proper walk around them to finish up the Raxes, but well, that's the middle set of Raxes. Their mission is gonna be that bottom set, and if ImpreZa can't defend this, it's pretty much GG at this point. They don't have... their item progression isn't actually too bad. If you look at their heroes, if they can win a big team fight, that's gonna get some of their major items online. Troll Warlord, I'm surprised he's actually gone for a casual Morbid Mask. I thought he would have actually finished the Helm of the Dominator at least, but he's actually still stuck with the Morbid Mask. Finished up a Sanjin Yasha, and he has an Ogre Club, which I presume is going to be a BKB, which will be phenomenal for the next fights. Our Bristleback, he's gone for a BKB, he's very close to it, so that's going to be nice for their next engagement. And Storm Spirit, still trying to go for the Bloodstone, but it's still quite a way away, I suppose. Actually, no, it's pretty close. He just needs 2 more pieces, then he'll be done. Although, down the bottom lane, we have our poor Earthshaker sitting behind the tree, but there is a Clockwork there trying to disrupt all of them. Going to throw the cogs, just to throw them a little bit forward, and Hookshot going to finish off the Earthshaker. There was a mechanism from our Bristleback, but that's not going to save him. KYT trying to run away. Is there a toss? There will be. We're even going to throw onto Seth as well. He's going to be completely pummeled to death, although Mesmer overstepping boundaries. Will he get caught out? Looks like he will. They do get an unstoppable streak off of the Rays. They're going to get Clockwork as well. VolT and Torch is overextending. They're going to get a Crystal Maiden blinking. Ulti, they get the kill onto the poor Troll Warlord. He actually rage buys back as well. Bristleback trying to get revenge for his teammate. Although he is going to pay with his life, and Troll Warlord, he does get revenge. But at what cost? Tossed in the air. Can he get anything though? Just going to retreat. He does not need to fight these heroes. Actually, is he going to go forward? There is a zip in there from Y. Can they get Proper? That'll be nice. Relocate. Oh no, that was actually the relocate from before, so never mind. They lose the Wisp. Proper, he's dead. Complete throw there from VolT and Torch's Echo. So I'm going to hit the ground. That's pretty much about it. Even some confused pings by the Crystal Maiden, I guess.
I think he maybe wanted to secure the kill for himself just to get enough gold to get the Blink Dagger, for example. Definitely would have gotten it had he gotten the last hit, but in the end, ImpreZa get off a pretty great fight. Of course, they're still 2 racks behind, so there's a long way for them to just call it a comeback yet. But even so, they get all 5 down. Of course, the way the thing started, had VolT Turtles managed to win the fight in the end, would have been extremely surprising. Crystal Maiden going into the enemy base like that with the blink and just popping freezing field, and well, he killed Troll Warlord, right? Forcing a buyback,
Yeah.
I believe. And
Yeah.
almost even killed the Storm Spirit there, so... Crystal Maiden even just man-fought up against Bristleback as well. Awesome stuff.
It's an Aghanim's ultimate as well, so it deals quite a bit of damage, especially if you get unlucky with some of the splashes. So, a Troll Warlord there, because he died. Unfortunately for him, he couldn't actually get as much gold as he would have liked to out of that. So he does finish his BKB. Hopefully, this is going to turn the tides of battle, because it means that a lot of the disables on the side of VolT and Torches is going to be rendered useless. So Crystal Maiden, Frostbite, going to do nothing. IO Slow, pretty much the same case. Even the Avalanche isn't going to do anything as well. So Troll, is this enough? I hope so. He's pretty tanky. He's sitting at 2k HP. He's pretty much their only frontliner, because if you look at the Bristleback, he pops BKB, mech, and then what else does he do? He's not a threat in these fights at all, because he has to pop a mechanism, 225 mana? Yeah, 225, that's a lot of his mana pool.
He's gonna lose his BKB, no, he gets stunned up, doesn't even BKB for whatever reason. Just... Well, I suppose you can't even BKB TP just because Clockwork is there with the hookshot, but at least like BKB and then try to run away instead of just getting stunned and mini-stunned, and... Well, that means that there's no buyback control. This is 70 seconds without the Troll Warlord. He die-backed pretty much, so... I see no way for ImpreZa to defend this. Blink Echo Slam maybe, but it's still on cooldown for another 13 seconds.
If they can stall for that, if for some reason VolT and Torches decides to group up and maybe just gets, I don't know, they won't get one hit KO'd, but maybe they can get some nice kills. Zip straight forward by the Storm. Actually, where's he going?
Yeah, he started the TP back before.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty funny to see.
It's like Hadouken! Although unfortunately it's not going to kill anybody, but the poor Wisp dropping pretty low, but poor Seth we punished there with the toss as well as the cogs, and actually KYT being slowed up immensely. No way from the runaway. Never mind, there is a nice fissure. They're going to keep him away, although the poor Wisp jumped on by Y, although Y going to zip forward a tiny bit and die. Now, he did commit suicide. Crystal Maiden doing quite a bit of damage to KYT with the ultimate there. Actually, 2 heroes are going to drop down. No, it's just one. It's just the Crystal Maiden. There was a buyback there from the Storm Spirit, but he is by himself. It is Mega Creeps as well. So even if they kill all these heroes, they have to deal with Mega Creeps. Actually, KYZ, can he survive? One more right click. They do die to Y. Toss in the air, 5 Copa, and the Resurrectors are coming in as well. Can he zip far enough? This Skadi is slowing them down so much. They just find it so difficult to run away. The 2 cores and VolT and Torches are alive. GG Cold by our Earthshaker. ImpreZa. It looked good for them, and then that was about it.
The Tiny just got way too much farm, and that wasn't even like... Even then, I don't really think they would be able to come back from this. If they had like at least one set of counterattacks already, so they could just straight fall down the mid lane with a creep wave and just clear up the Ancient, maybe so, but just not happening, guys. But don't you worry, because this wasn't the last game of Dota anyway for us. Unfortunately for ImpreZa, they do lose 2-0, and VolT is a pretty decent showing, to be honest. Propa also showed us that the Earthshaker is not his only good hero. Tiny, definitely nicely played by him as well here. But we're gonna have First Departure versus Erudite coming out in about 19 minutes. So there's gonna be more Dota, another 2-game series coming out. So if you want to just see some more, stick around. And of course, if you want to see more in the future, you can check out our social media, which is HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter. For the casters, it's at Couchor for me, at Danielle casts for my co-caster. You can find how both of those are written and spelled on or in the title of Twitch. So also you can check them in the Twitch chat if you want to. But with this, we're done with this series, and we'll be back in about 18 minutes now for First Departure versus Erudite.